Hi, this is Pete from Strymon at NAMM 2019 with the new Volante pedal. We're excited to launch it here at NAMM, and we've been getting some great response from the people coming by and checking it out. So the Volante is a multi-voice, multi-head magnetic echo machine that gives you three different styles. The first is the drum style, which is based on the old spinning platter delays that also inspired by the circuits of those old echoes that had many tubes in the signal path, so it allowed for a very saturated, harmonically rich set of repeats, very dynamic as well. The tape is based on the tape units, like the old space echoes that had multiple heads and a variety of configurations. And then the studio delay is a multi-head studio, like reel-to-reel type of deck. That would be a studio recreation where the voicing is a little cleaner, a little higher headroom, and along with those different voices, we have some different ways to shape the tone, being like the mechanics will kind of put the state of the machine by adding various mechanical, wow and flutter or warping effects. On the tape, you get splices and crinkles as it gets past noon. The low cut will remove the low end from the delay, and the wear will simulate the worn heads and media that makes it ineffective in recording higher frequencies, so it'll really mellow out the sound. And so we'll hear a few of these sounds and then talk about some of these other controls. So that's the drum delay, and you can hear the really kind of saturated repeats that are happening there. So if you want a cleaner delay, we can bring the record level back. So you have the ability to independently select any number of heads to play back. So here I've got all four heads playing back. And we can select any of them to feedback. So if I select the fourth head is like the quarter note head. So if I have that feeding back, we'll just hear that repeating pattern. So I can remove one of the heads from playing back. I can also have a head feedback that is not playing back. So even though we won't hear its output, its signal will feed back based on the repeat setting. So you can really hear the different kind of patterns that emerge. So you can really get a wide variety of rhythmic effects. And to take that further, we've put a spacing control that allows you to move the heads relative to each other. Head 4 always remains the quarter note, but the other three heads will move accordingly based on the spacing setting, and they'll kind of morph smoothly between those settings. So here the even setting. Here the triplet setting. Here the golden ratio setting sets the repeats for like maximum density buildup. And the old Roland Space Echo 501 delays, it was a 3-head machine, and the heads weren't spaced evenly as they were in the 201, but they were spaced at this golden ratio, so you really get a very kind of dreamy sound. I'm going to go to our tape model here. So you can hear how different that is from the even setting. So basically, they just kind of build up. And then the silver rate setting is the repeats start getting more closely spaced towards the quarter note. if you press and hold ahead, it'll go to a half level. It's a 6 dB cut. So now we can add dynamics to the repeats. The first two echoes are quieter than the next two. And then we can also pan the heads in the stereo field really easily. If I just hold the feedback button and turn the time knob, and it just becomes a pan. So I'm going to pan this a bit left, and a bit right, and a bit left, and a bit right. So we can explore the range of the low cut and the wear, which are voiced differently for each style of delay, but they give a very wide range of tone options because the states that these machines exist in today really run the gamut, and some of them are in really bad shape but still have a charm to them. So we wanted to be able to include those ranges as well. So with these for the tape here at low cut and where at minimum we get a very kind of clean, fresh bandwidth. If I turn the low cut all the way up, we'll get a very high pass repeat. If I bring the wear all the way up, we'll get a mellower repeat. If we go back to the drum and go to maximum wear and minimum low cut, we get a very murky kind of repeat. Or we can get a much brighter experience. The studio delay is the cleanest of the three and has the most headroom. And the low cut and wear controls are more like shelving equalization that a studio engineer might employ. Again, we can set any sort of head combination. And if you move the spacing like just a little bit away from even, you can hear the effect of the heads as they move and kind of create a different set of interference patterns. We've also got a sound on sound capability. We press and hold the tap button. Now we're in sound on sound, and we have access to the transport controls. So there, I've just stopped the tape transport with the pause. If you want to pause immediately, you just press it, and we can reverse the operation of the unit. So I'll set a slower delay here so we can hear that a little bit better. And then I can splice in and create a loop. So now my loop will run, and it'll continue to degrade based on how I have the settings. So the multi-head delay remains active while we're looping. And if we get to a point where we want to freeze the degrading, we press and hold, and now the loop won't degrade any further, but I can still play over it. I can also change the delay time. Or I could record those movements. now I've cleared the loop by hitting splice again. On top of that, we have a spring reverb that is independent, so we can change the K length of the spring as well. If we hold these heads 1 and 4 feedback down, now we can create a very long spring. Or a very short spring. And the echo feeds into the spring, so it's voiced to really complement the echo as well. You can store 8 presets on board without any external hardware. The favorite switch will go back into echo mode here. The favorite switch will switch between the knob settings and whatever preset that you want to recall. And if you press and hold it for a second, you can change the preset that's being recalled. If I wanted to change to preset 4, I just press and hold this for a second, and now I'm just going between preset 4. Now is the knob setting. We have a spillover mode too, where you can do that and the delay will remain. So it also has full MIDI implementation with MIDI I/O. It also has MIDI through the expression pedal and USB MIDI as well. Yeah, that's probably a reasonable run through. I might have forgotten some stuff here or there, but we're really excited about the reaction we've been getting here at the show, and we're excited for everyone to get a chance to check it out. Hi, this is Pete from Strymon here at NAMM 2019, saying hello to all our good friends at Guitar Gear in Mexico.